Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Temperatures just got to 80 degrees today, but we've got a whole lot more of that number coming not only for the weekend, but most of the next 7 days.
A Detroit mother of 2 shot and killed inside her grandmother's home, and the man in police custody is her uncle. Tonight, what he told dispatchers when he called 911 on himself.
Okay, Priya, but first, the victim's family is outraged. A man convicted of murder at age 12 will walk out of a juvenile facility on Monday when he turns 21 years old. If you do the quick math, that means DeMarco Harris spent roughly 9 years behind bars for murder. Let's
bring in Jermont Terry, who's following the story for us. And Jermont, the judge said he really doesn't have a choice in this matter.
Yeah, he did, Debbie. Now, Harris was tried and convicted as an adult and was sentenced to life. But with his 21st birthday coming up on Monday, he was ordered to essentially to get released from juvenile custody. And that possibility alone left the victim's family very unhappy. A packed courtroom today as DeMarco Harris, who has been locked up since age 12, tries to get out of custody. Harris was convicted for the August 2009 shooting and killing of Tricia Babcock and an attempted robbery. But after nearly 8 years, it was time to decide if Harris paid his debt for the crime, a crime committed at age 12.
So this brutal act that DeMarco did should not be overlooked.
Babcock's family was against the idea of releasing Harris. Her father gave an emotional testimony about his loss.
It wasn't fair for you when you died alone.
Her father found the strength to express his resentment Harris could walk out of juvie.
My daughter deserves justice. This crime in juvenile detention center for 7 years while he played the system. Anybody in their right mind would have done the same thing that he did because he knows he has a chance for freedom.
Harris, who turns 21 next week, told the court there's no doubt he's been rehabilitated and is remorseful.
Since that day, I have grown mentally, physically, and spiritually.
The law says Harris is to be released from juvenile custody at age 21.
I know I've been told that once he reaches 21, he's supposed to be cut loose. I'm not so sure about that.
The judge took the recommendations of several therapists before ruling to release him.
He took a life, and I think that he should have a lot more to be in prison more than what he has.
He was never a threat to the society before he went in, and I'm quite sure he's not going to be a threat when he comes home.
Now, Babcock's family believes that Harris simply played the system, and they believe that he is still a threat to this community. The judge this afternoon said that he did not take this decision very lightly. He most definitely thought about it for a very long time before opting to release him on Monday. For now, reporting live, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
You know, Jermont, it's fascinating legalese here, the way that this worked its way through the system. A life sentence and yet eligible for release.
Yeah, you're right, Devin. Ironically, 3 years after Harris was convicted, there was a U.S. Supreme Court ruling that said anytime a juvenile that dealt with a juvenile case, and essentially said that juveniles can't really be sentenced to life sentence, and they have to really be taking that into consideration. And that's what essentially allowed this legal loophole to open up in this case.
Yeah, so charged as an adult and sentenced as a juvenile. Really interesting. All right, Jermont.
Yes.
A bizarre call leads to police making a gruesome discovery on Detroit's west side. A woman dead inside a home, and police believe it was her uncle who pulled the trigger. Let's get to Priya Mann live on Winthrop Street where this all happened. And Priya, the uncle was the one who actually made the phone call.
That's right. He called 911, telling dispatchers he was stressed out and couldn't handle the pressures anymore. When Detroit police arrived at the home, they found the alleged shooter, his elderly grandmother, and the victim inside.
What do I do with my grandkids? Oh my God.
A heartbroken mother, her family, and the victim's fiance were shell-shocked. 42-year-old Catherine Grimes was shot in the head and killed inside her grandmother's home. The mother of 2 was a caretaker for her grandmother, who suffers from dementia.
That was her heart. That was her heart. She come every morning to take care of this woman. She has dementia. She takes care of her.
Sources say the alleged shooter is the victim's uncle. He called 911 himself, telling dispatchers he was stressed out and had killed someone. When police arrived, they found the woman's body in the front living room.
What do you say to a parent that's child has been shot by her own uncle? What do you say?
It's crazy. For some strange reason, he probably snapped. Like I said, my heart goes out to the family, and we will pray for the family.
The shooting happened around 10:30 Friday morning on the west side near Greenfield and Puritan. Family members say Grimes was devoted to her children, who are both teenagers. She was planning to marry her fiance in October on Sweetest Day.
You keep telling me I can't go see my damn wife? Is that what you telling me? I'm telling you that you can't go down there right this second. Come on.
It was absolutely heartbreaking to watch as families arrived here at the home and learned the truth. Now, this family dealing with two tragedies tonight. One, the senseless murder of a mother of two, and the other, the man accused of pulling the trigger, another family member. Reporting live from the west side, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Just tough, Priya. What do we know about the uncle, the alleged shooter in this case?
You know, neighbors say this family has lived here for decades, more than 30 years. They even called this family a sort of fixture in the community. They say they'd often see the man outside mowing his lawn. For the most part, he kept to himself, and there may have been some mental health issues here. But other than that, they say nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, okay. Priya, thanks. A massive manhunt is underway in London after a bomb exploded on a subway train during the morning rush hour.
Explosion wounded 29 people and caused a bit of a stampede to safety. Officials are treating it as a terrorist incident. Witnesses report seeing victims with severe burns.
One woman on a stretcher, her legs were quite burnt and they were wrapped in plastic, and her hair was as well quite charred.
Many people were injured as they were trying to flee. Among the passengers, many were children. In the wake of Hurricane Irma, one thing has become crystal clear, and that is that it is going to take a long time for things to get back to maybe a new version of normal.
Right. Millions are still without power there tonight, and new problems are emerging. Folks still trying to get back into the strike zone are having trouble because most gas stations are still closed. Adding to that, many roads are full of debris. Jay Gray is in Florida tonight with a look at the massive rebuilding effort that lies ahead.
Irma began its assault in the Caribbean, then battering Cuba before taking aim at the Keys and Florida coast.
You need to leave right now.
Hundreds of thousands rushed to higher ground during what some have called the largest mass evacuation in U.S. history. Tens of thousands filled more than 580 shelters across the state. The barrier islands took the first hit, winds gusting over 140 miles an hour, driving rains, and a storm surge that swallowed everything in its path. Next, the peninsula.
Such a massive storm, as Irma moved in along the west coast, the effects were being felt on the east side of the state, starting here in Miami.
Water poured into downtown from Biscayne Bay while wind ripped across Naples. The entire state was hammered by the storm. Cities like Jacksonville underwater.
It looked like a nuclear bomb went off.
The magnitude of the devastation overwhelming.
Everything's down and gone.
We need water, food, we need gas.
And power. 5 days after landfall, millions are still in the dark. And now, each day in the strike zone begins with the difficult task of recovery and a promise from survivors.
We love it here. We're in paradise. We're going to rebuild, and we're going to come back strong.
A strength that continues to be tested here. Jay Gray, Local 4.
Well, an exact cause is tough to nail down with a disaster like this, but economists say Irma caused at least $50 billion in damage to that region.
Back here, we are heading into a beautiful weekend across Metro Detroit.
You're right. The sun is shining. The temperatures are rising. Yeah. Ben is the man of the hour, and you better take the praise while you can get him, buddy.
That's right. It's going to go away quick. I know.
We'll be back after you in January.
That's right.
That's true. You know, if we could just repeat today over the weekend, I think a lot of us would be happy, but we want more. We want warmer temperatures and more sun, and we're going to get it, too. This map actually shows the entire weekend in a nutshell. You can see the warmer temperatures that are off to our west. Those will start rolling in here tomorrow. So a lot of us will be in the 80s for highs. But when we get to the end of the weekend, look at the difference in temperatures here between that 81 in the Twin Cities and 56 in Duluth. Pretty strong cold front here that'll be sweeping through late Sunday night. So that'll change things, but we're going to get through a beautiful weekend first. 82 on Saturday, 83 on Sunday. Few showers will be hanging around, but those will be late. And we'll talk more about how many more 80s are going to show up coming up, guys.
Ben. In Novi, eastbound I-96 back open after an overturned dump truck forced a closure at Novi Road.
Sky 4 was over the scene earlier today, and you can see what appears to be asphalt spread across the interstate there. Crews made quick work of the cleanup as the closure lasted just less than an hour. I-96 was reopened just before 12:30 this afternoon. A day of celebration here in Detroit for the University of Michigan as the school commemorates 200 years of history.
Doing it in style, in fact, at Detroit's Grand Circus Park, an event that features booths, food trucks, exhibits, and a lot more to celebrate Detroit and the University of Michigan bicentennial. Mayor Duggan and University of Michigan President Mark Schlessel spoke to the crowd about the university's history, its history of excellence. Well, look at familiar face. That wasn't the only guest there, right?
I get tired of saying, "Go Blue!" And I know. And we are here because we're celebrating the 200th birthday of the University of Michigan.
Proud alumni, Carmen Harlan. The event will wrap up tonight at 7 p.m. It is open to the public and it's free.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great.
Much more ahead here at 5. Sean.
Goats. I said goats on the run here at Rochester and Maple in Troy.
It sounds weird, but there's some goats running in the road at 15 Mile just west of Rochester Road.
Police had to help round them up. They also had to deal with aggressive squirrels and one cat. Oh my.
President Trump responding to 2 issues on the foreign front, including another escalation from North Korea.
But first, forget about busting down the doors. Thieves in Detroit destroy a building, and it was just one thing they were after. It's next.
This new at 6.
A thief on the prowl inside a beloved local business. New at 6, why people are so emotional over this robbery caught on camera.
Also, Detroit has been given a big chunk of change to spend, but this time it's for the neighborhoods. At 6, we'll show you some of the places where $27 million could be used or put to use.
The hunt is on for the suspects responsible for crashing a car into a building and stealing an ATM on the city's west side. It happened early this morning at Lumley and McGraw in Detroit. That's just north of Michigan Avenue. You're looking at video from the scene. Police believe the suspects used a truck to run into the building and make way with the ATM. If you have any information, call police.
Today, President Trump responding to the latest terror attack in London we mentioned earlier. This as the U.S. determines the next course of action after yet another test missile launch by North Korea. Blaine Alexander is in Washington with more on the latest provocation. Blaine?
Well, Devin, despite the fact that the UN has just hit North Korea with brand new sanctions being called some of the toughest to date, North Korea is responding by not backing down. So now it's up to President Trump to determine what happens next. As he prepares for his first address to the United Nations General Assembly next week, President Trump responding to 2 major issues on the foreign front. North Korea launching yet another test missile, its longest traveling to date, flying directly over Japan, defying a fresh set of sanctions by the United Nations. For now, UN Ambassador Nikki Haley says the U.S. is still counting on sanctions.
You have to look at how much has been cut off. They've already started to feel it, but they're getting ready to feel 90% of their exports going away. 30% of their oil. Imagine what that would do to the United States.
But if that doesn't work, military options are still on the table.
We've been kicking the can down the road, and we're out of road.
Meanwhile, this morning, an explosion on London's train system injuring dozens, putting terrorism back in the spotlight. President Trump tweeted those responsible were in the sights of British law enforcement. His comments dismissed by the British Prime Minister.
I never think it's helpful for anybody to speculate on what is an ongoing investigation.
Here at home, New York City stepping up security as President Trump and other world leaders prepare to converge on the city next week. And President Trump has left Washington to spend the weekend at his golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey, before heading to the UN on Monday. In Washington, Blaine Alexander, Local 4.
All right, Blaine, the president also had a phone call with Jewish leaders today in which they discussed a potential peace deal between Israelis and Palestinians. The president said he is very hopeful that significant progress can be made before the end of the year.
Okay, so as we were talking heading into the weekend. It looks lovely. The sun's shining out. You couldn't ask for a better weekend
to
wind down summer here. Yeah.
We spent so much time below average. Now we're above it, and we've still got more to go. I mean, it's icing on the cake from here.
It's just great.
We've seen those temperatures get right to 80, but we've also enjoyed it with a decent amount of sunshine. There have been some cumulus clouds that have formed here in the afternoon, but those are not threatening. We are not anticipating any precipitation. In fact, in the regional picture, it's really even difficult to tell where those clouds are, but they're there. And we do have showers out to our north and west. We'll deal with that once the weekend is done. But in between, what a gorgeous stretch of weather we've got here in the next 48 hours. Temperatures here right now are at 78, but you can see what is to come for the weekend. Grand Rapids is at 83, Saginaw is at 82, even Traverse City warmer than us here at 83. And those cooler numbers on the other side of the front, yeah, we'll figure that out once we get past this weekend. Could be seeing a little bit more of the patchy fog as we head towards morning tomorrow, just like what we saw this morning. Got a shot in from storm pins. Look at this. These are actually these spider webs there on the tree. You can see them where the fog's just sort of making those a little bit more visible. Very cool shot that we got in. Otherwise, warm temperatures getting into the low 80s for tomorrow and Sunday. This is not the end of it, but we will see at least a temporary dip once this front goes through. As far as the timing of the rain, it looks like most of this stuff should be after sunset on Sunday. The model we're showing you here is one of the fastest to bring this front through. It's trying to give us some rain in the afternoon, but it does look like most of the other model data suggesting it's going to be an evening event, and then we're looking at dry conditions after that. So let's hope we can get everything we can out of that front. 60 tonight for an overnight low. Skies on the clear. We will be seeing that fog develop as we head towards morning tomorrow. Not quite as dense or as widespread as we've seen in mornings past, but man, look at these highs tomorrow. 80 in the city. West Bloomfield, Troy, you're going to be at 82. Same goes for the airport. South zone temperatures, plenty of 80s there, just a little bit cooler towards Lake Erie. West zone, inland areas, especially into the low 80s. In fact, everybody in the zone there in the low 80s. And north of M59, some 70s up in St. Cloud County, but generally it's low 80s pretty much in the entire area tomorrow. 83 is where we'll go on Sunday, and then temperatures start dipping again with that front Monday and into Tuesday. We will rebound by the middle of next week in the low 80s, but we've also got our eyes on the Atlantic. We got to talk about Hurricane Jose coming up here in a few minutes. There's another storm behind that, and it doesn't look good.
Starting to look worrisome, isn't it?
We'll check it out.
All righty. The rest of it, though.
This looks good. If we could do more of this.
The only way it'd be more perfect is it came with free pizza, is what I think I've decided.
I like that. All right, let's check in with Dr. McGeorge. Doc.
Back to school has meant back to the doctor for many Metro Detroit kids. Plus, the first cases of the flu are popping up. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. See what's going around where you live.
All right, Frank, but first, she did nothing to stop it. A Michigan mother guilty in a shocking case of abuse, and we'll have that next. Across Michigan tonight, stories from the state capitol in Lansing, and the first look at something very big headed to the Great Lakes.
But we want to start in Jackson. That's where a mother could be heading to prison for brutal abuse of her two sons. Tina Harbert is found guilty on 2 counts of first-degree child abuse. Her now ex-husband, James Harbert, pleaded guilty to 3 counts of child abuse after what is called serious mental and physical harm. The father was charged in 2015 after the grandparents found horrific signs of abuse on the children. Tina Harbert was charged for failing to protect her sons from serious harm.
2 prison healthcare workers are suspended as an investigation of the death of a prisoner is underway. 37-year-old John Stein was given CPR and rushed to an area hospital after he collapsed in his cell. Stein was put into a prison healthcare unit after he said he wasn't feeling well, but was returned to the cell shortly after. An autopsy was performed, but officials say it could be 2 months before a report on the death is available. A brand new freighter set to work along the Great Lakes this fall is beginning its 2-month voyage from China to Canada.
The 1,000-foot freighter named Algoma Niagara is ready to enter the Soo Locks. Take a look. This bulk cargo vessel is designed to be 45% more energy efficient and reduce sulfur oxides from its emissions. The massive freighter is part of the Algoma line, which carries grain and iron ore.
New at 5:30.
Taking to the streets, angry protesters bring traffic to a standstill in St. Louis after a very controversial court ruling. It's the end of an era.
The signal from the spacecraft is gone, and within the next 45 seconds, so will be the spacecraft.
It's logged more than 5 billion miles, but now it's no more.
Goats on the run here at Rochester and Maple in Troy. Police say they've never had a roundup like this before.
It's Premier.
Frantic calls to 911. Police rushed to the scene, but these weren't crooks they were trying to catch. They were 2 goats. They got loose, and we are not talking about out in the country either.
Those crazy kids. This is at Maple and Rochester, right smack in the middle of an industrial and commercial area. Sean Lay got his hands on the 911 calls. Sean?
Devin, Karen, that 911 call, and this case may be the GOAT, the greatest of all time. An utterly ridiculous call to Troy police last night.
911, what's your emergency? This sounds weird, but there's some goats running in the road at 15 miles just west of Rochester Road.
Police had to take this case by the horns.
We got a call that goats were running in traffic at Maple and Rochester.
2 goats were hoofing it near the very busy intersection of Maple and Rochester roads. A bleat on the police radio went out.
Maple and Rochester, there's reported to be 2 goats wandering in traffic. I gotta see this.
This Troy Facebook post shows the officer got the herd to safety and, quote, the officer is okay too, despite an alleged fear of goats.
He got to interact with them and, liked the goats after meeting them.
Wait, what? Goats in Troy?
My buddy drove by and said that he's seen the goats outside. I'm like, it's just great. Exactly what I needed,
Not to butt in, but Robert Twitchell is babysitting the goats, of course, behind his home near that intersection. But don't make him out to be the scapegoat. He thinks his goats on the news is cheesy and that we're milking it.
As soon as I pull in to check up on them, Troy police was here, and I was like, I bet you're here for the goats, aren't you? And they just laughed and said, yeah.
Back here live. Before you ask anything, yes, goats are perfectly fine in Troy as long as you have 3/4 of an acre or a special permit. Karen and Devin, if you're scoring at home, there were 9 awful goat puns in my piece. Here's the final one. Everyone knows not to let kids play in the street. That's the mic drop. But Devin, you beat me to it.
Very
nice.
Beat
me to it.
The mic.
You dropped the mic, and yet I still hear him. That's planning, because there's a spare mic, I know. Sean, interestingly enough, though, it was quite a day for Troy police and animals, and not just the goats we've been talking about.
Really strange evening. First the goats, then aggressive squirrels at the park. Police got there. It was true. They were chasing people, even the officers around. They had to kind of get them up and take them to another place, not to bother anyone. And a cat left in a car at Somerset. So they don't know if there was a full moon or something in the evening last night, but 3 really weird animal calls in a row.
Yeah, but the goats get the headlines, as they tend to. Yeah,
that's right.
All right, Sean.
All right, thank you. Well, 2 men are in police custody at this hour after an alleged assault and robbery along Woodward this morning. We're told the 2 men allegedly assaulted an elderly man while he was waiting at a bus stop on Woodward and Kenilworth. That's near Chicago Boulevard. The elderly man left the scene without serious injuries. We're awaiting word, though, if there will be any charges against those 2 men who were arrested. State police investigating some break-ins at the Michigan Renaissance Festival.
Police say the break-ins happened in the storage area and tents at the festival, which is in Groveland Township. All these break-ins believed to have occurred between September 11th and September 13th. Evidence has been collected, and troopers are now waiting for a list of missing items. But if you've got any information on the break-ins, Michigan State Police are asking you to call. Japan's prime minister is condemning the latest action from North Korea, calling them, quote, dangerous and provocative. Sirens sounded for the 2nd time in 3 weeks as North Korea conducted its longest ever test flight of a ballistic missile. The missile flew 2,300 miles east over northern Japan before landing in the Pacific. That distance puts U.S. territory like Guam well in range for North Korea. And now the United Nations may call for tougher sanctions against the North, such as an oil embargo, an idea already rejected by the Russians and the Chinese. President Trump says the U.S. is working on that and that people should feel very safe. Back at home, protesters take to the streets in St. Louis after a Missouri judge finds former officer Jason Stockley not guilty of first-degree murder.
Stockley was alleged to have shot and killed Anthony Lamar Smith back in 2011. Protesters filled the streets to protest the judge's ruling. The judge ruled the state did not prove that Stockley was not acting in self-defense. Activists say they plan mass protests over the weekend. Missouri's governor says they have activated the National Guard to keep everybody safe. Well, it's almost impossible to think about with all the destruction in Florida, Texas, the Caribbean, but tonight there is a new storm gathering steam and has some folks worried.
Let's bring in Ben. We've still got a ways to go here, but we were just yesterday pointing out how long we still have to go for hurricane season to be over.
Yeah, the peak of it was September 10th, just a few days ago. We're right in the thick of things. And so this is no surprise that we've got a very active Atlantic. As you look back here, the first storm that's back here on the right, the furthest off to the east, that's Tropical Depression 14, but it's this one that has us a little bit more concerned. Not tropically organized, no name, no number just yet. We'll get to that one in a second. Both of these near the Cape Verde Islands, which is similar to where Irma was born. But let's focus on what is more of a threat, at least in the short term. This is Hurricane Jose right now. You can see it spinning north of the Bahamas and south of Bermuda. 75-mile-per-hour sustained winds at the 5 o'clock advisory. It's a Category 1 storm, should stay there, but look at how close this thing gets to the northeast. New York and Boston, both in the cone. But when you start looking at the computer models, the American model actually has the core of this storm hitting the Cape, right around Martha's Vineyard and Cape Cod. That's 10 a.m. on Wednesday. Then it's off to the Atlantic. But you start looking at the Euro model, and that thing doesn't stay quite as close to the Cape. However, watch what happens when this thing circles back and makes a beeline back towards the U.S. Again, these are two model solutions that are way out, but it is something that's possible. You look south of there, that's that storm that we're concerned about just hanging off the mid-Atlantic coast. So we're going to have to watch this very carefully here in the next 10 days. Guys?
All right, Ben. A bittersweet day at NASA as a 20-year mission comes to an end. Early this morning, the Cassini space probe plunged into the atmosphere of Saturn and disintegrated.
It sure did. It was planned. Scientists say Cassini revealed more about the ringed planet in our solar system than they ever could have imagined, including some breathtaking pictures of Jupiter and the night side of Saturn.
I'm going to call this the end of mission. Project manager off the net.
Details of the rings, those tiny moons snuggled in so close, those are all gone.
Just 4 months ago, the spacecraft became the first to plunge between Saturn's rings. Cassini has left behind a legacy of data that could help answer many questions about our galaxy.
Every piece of machinery in your life worked as well. State University president is getting a huge bump in pay. It's the University of Michigan President Mark Schlossel. His new salary puts him over $800,000 a year. The school's Board of Regents voted unanimously to approve the 3.5% raise for Schlossel. The pay hike will give him a base salary of nearly $824,000. That's up from about $795,000 last year. He became the school's 14th president back in 2014.
Well, the Guardian building is a true Detroit gem. Its lobby really is a true work of art. If you've never visited, you must. And inside that lobby, there is a new shop that's popped up, and it is right in step with the beauty surrounding it. Our Kim DeGiulio has a closer look.
The Guardian building. It's one of the most unique and artistic buildings we have here in downtown Detroit. And now when you visit the Guardian building, you can purchase something unique and artistic to take home for yourself. Meet April Wagner. She's been glassblowing for more than 25 years. This Michigan native from Muskegon always knew she wanted to become an artist.
I remember playing at the end of my grandma's driveway, making little mud cakes in the dirt.
After studying art at Interlochen and Detroit's College for Creative Studies, April opened her own glassblowing studio in Pontiac. Now she has the opportunity to showcase and sell her work in Detroit, a city bursting with artists.
We have more and more galleries opening downtown, but not one that's focused on glass.
Her pop-up shop in the Guardian building will be here through January. April says they have a little something for everybody interested in glass.
Little swizzle sticks that are $10, the ring holders are $25, and then we move up. So the custom sculptures, start at $400, and maybe the most expensive thing here in the store is $4,000.
April sees the Guardian building as the perfect fit for her artwork.
This building was built to last over time, and I feel the same way about my glass pieces.
When you come visit the pop-up shop here in the Guardian building, you're going to notice a lot of pet-themed items, like this dog bowl right here. Well, that's because April donates 20% of the profits from the pet-themed items to the Michigan Humane Society. So another big incentive to come and check out all of her items. Reporting here in the Guardian building in downtown Detroit, I'm Kim DeGiulio, Local 4.
That is so gorgeous there.
Beautiful.
It really
yeah.
is.
Detroit favorite, Better Made, adding a new flavor to its lineup.
It is a reduced sodium version of their classic barbecue chips. The new release is in response to the success of their reduced sodium regular potato chips. The new barbecue flavor will have about 50% less sodium than Better Made's original BBQ chips, so those chips will be available for purchase anywhere Better Made products are sold. So healthy chips. Right?
I'm always dubious about how.
I always say
when you're making the choice, I know from the beginning. A home security camera catches a chilling break-in.
New tonight, what was sitting just feet away from this guy as he ripped off a purse? Doc.
Back to school has meant back to the doctor for many Metro Detroit kids. Plus, the first cases of flu are popping up. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. See what's going around where you live, coming up in Good Health.
All right, Frank, but first, a dangerous sinkhole opens up right next to a freeway. What caused this huge problem for commuters? Next at 5:30.
And we do want to remind you, Barktoberfest this Saturday and
It's fun
Sunday.
to say, isn't it?
It is kind of fun. You sound pretty cool. It's happening over at Royal Oaks Memorial Park. Leash up your dog and unleash your party spirit. There's lots of food, drink, and live music, and of course, lots of fun for your dogs, and really great weather out there this weekend. Go out and enjoy. We'll be right back.
Can this math? New at 6.
New information is emerging about the Equifax security breach. Find out how many people in Michigan may be affected and what several state attorney generals are trying to do about it.
Also, police have a tough job, no doubt. Sometimes you need to blow off some steam, even while you're on duty. Wait until you see how these two and a friend did exactly that in a funny new video posted by a local police department.
It was a messy commute for drivers in San Diego as a massive sinkhole opens up on a highway, sending water and mud just gushing into several lanes. The eastbound lanes of a California highway were shut down around noontime after a pipe burst, causing that sinkhole. The sinkhole was about 8 feet wide. Chopper video shows water just bubbling, causing pools of muddy water to cover the lanes. Oof. Well, the road was closed for several hours as crews made repairs because California traffic isn't congested enough.
Not enough of a
So
problem.
let's just
and
throw
lucky
that
no
in.
cars were in at this time,
That's
which
true.
we've seen before.
Let's talk good health today. Back to school has meant back to the doctor for a lot of local kids.
Tends to happen every year as students start spending long days together in close quarters. Dr. Frank McGeorge here with what's going around.
Teachers and some doctors refer to it as the back-to-school plague. Now, clearly, it's not deadly, but it's definitely annoying, especially when it gets in the way of a good start to the school year. Here's what's going around where you live. In Wayne County, Children's Hospital is reporting an increase in coughs, colds, and asthma flare-ups from changes in weather and those back-to-school germs. St. John Hospital is starting to see some flu-like illnesses, though not necessarily true cases of influenza, and the CVS Minute Clinic in Wyandotte is treating strep throat. Over to Oakland County, Dr. Kelly Levasseur at Beaumont Children's is seeing viral illnesses, hand, foot, and mouth disease, and croup. Clarkson Medical Group reports strep throat and some of those flu-like illnesses. Chickenpox is popping up in Northville. West of Washtenaw County, the Washtenaw County Health Department says several confirmed cases of influenza have been diagnosed in the past week. Right now, young adults are the group most affected. Doctors at U of M are seeing a big back-to-school increase in respiratory illnesses with wheezing, cough, and fever. Heading to Monroe County, the ER at ProMedicum Monroe Regional is seeing lots of kids with respiratory illnesses along with some outdoor injuries. And finally, in Macomb County, the CVS Minute Clinics are beginning to see cases of influenza A and an increase in strep throat. Dr. Emily O'Reilly at McLaren Macomb reports a few cases of hepatitis A coming into the ER, along with seasonal allergies and viral upper respiratory infections. Now, respiratory illnesses are really difficult to avoid, and that's why it's especially important for anyone who's sick to do their part by covering coughs and sneezes. Also, keep in mind, hand washing when you're sick can help decrease the chance that you're going to spread the germs to anything that you touch. Back to you.